Joining us now is a survivor of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, Yvonne Check. She saved the lives of 18 fourth graders by barricading them in a closet with her colleagues. Yvonne, thank you very much for being with us. I know we spoke a few years ago after Newtown, and it feels like, we're going to end up speaking again, given the way things are going. But I do want to start with some of the progress that has been made, because there has been some. The Gabby Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, an advocacy group, says that there have been 18 states that have made it harder for kids and young adults to get guns, 21 states that have passed laws to address community violence, 37 states to address domestic violence, and 29 states toughened background checks. That is a lot in the 10 years since. How are you feeling today?
Hi, Katie. Thank you for having me on today. How I'm feeling today is profoundly sad, because it's a day that reminds us that even though so much has been done, we have so much further to go, and we have to keep the focus on the fact that gun violence is on the rise, and we have to get to the root cause of it. And I don't think we are doing that as a country. I think we are stuck in a polarizing conversation, and we have to find common ground in order to change the conversation. We have to change the conversation in order to make progress, more progress. And I think that it has to start with things that we can all agree on. We can all agree that we want to be able to send our children to school and have them come home safely. I think that's a place where we can all start. That's common ground. We have to stop normalizing gun violence. We can't ever let it feel normal, and it sometimes feels like it has become normal, because there's over 300 people a day that are shot in this country, and over a third of them die. And we don't hear about those every day. We don't hear about them, the 1 or 2 people that are shot every day, because the numbers aren't high enough.
Yeah.
We seem to pay more attention when the numbers are higher, and that's not okay. We should never allow gun violence to ever feel normal.
You're right about that. It is an everyday occurrence, multiple times a day on most days. I want to caveat when I said a lot, it's a lot on the state by state level, certainly not a lot on the federal level. And you talk about ways to come together, what we can all agree on, getting our kids home safe. Yes, it's that next step, that disagreement takes hold. How to do that? How do you address the gulf between people who say it's all about adding more guns into the school system, adding more guns to good guys holding them, and the people who say we need less guns, we need to take them away from people who are mentally unstable, we need stronger red flag laws, we need more universal background checks, we need to get rid of these high-powered firearms that nobody really needs and are instruments of war instead of instruments of recreation. How do you, when you get to that point, how do you start to bridge that divide?
Well, I mean, you first have to start with the facts. And the facts are that if more guns made things safer, we'd be safer right now, and we're not. We have more guns on the street in this country than probably ever before, and gun violence is on the rise. So this is not my opinion. More guns does not equal being safer. It's not an opinion, that's just fact. So I think we have to start by looking at the real data and the real facts, but we also have to really, think about not being on one side or the other of this conversation. I'm not a constitutional scholar, but I have read a lot about American history, as I'm sure a lot of people have. And I believe very strongly that the framers of our Constitution never intended that document to prevent us from solving a public health crisis. I don't think that was ever the intention from the framers of the Constitution. So I think we need to start by looking at the facts, and then I think we need to find common ground and agree that we would all love to feel secure and safe and let our children go to school without fear, and then figure out how to make that happen. I think we have more common ground than we realize. I think that so many people in this country agree on some of the basics, such as universal background checks, and we need the federal government to have the courage to listen to what even gun owners are agreeing that there's nothing wrong with universal background checks. So we need our lawmakers to have a little more courage and to listen to the people. And we need everyone to take action. And, as I was saying before, normalizing gun violence, what it looks like when you normalize gun violence is you get an alert on your phone that there's another shooting, and then people swipe and move past it. Or you turn on the radio and you in your car and you hear about another shooting, and you continue on with your conversation. And if every time we heard about someone being shot, if every time we just spent 10 minutes and took an action and called our congressman and just said, please do everything you can to end gun violence. It doesn't mean you have to dedicate your life to advocacy. It doesn't mean you have to be extremely knowledgeable about the situation. You just have to take a small action and not let it go by, and not let the opportunity go by. Every time you hear about someone being shot, people are at work all day long sending emails. Send an email to your congressman, a quick email, make a quick phone call. Let everyone know how you feel.
Don't just pass by the news.